Good evening, everybody, and once again, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I gave you a brief discussion about Amazon QCLI and why every single developer must have this particular tool. It makes your life very easy. It is lightweight and it is super fast. Now, in this particular video, I would love to show you how you can leverage Amazon QCLI with Spark history servers. You can ask questions naturally like, hey, what are the bottleneck in my Spark jobs? So let's take a look at the particular process. Remember, in the first part, we have already taken a look at the installation of Amazon QCLI. Now we're going to take a look at the part 2. Here, we're going to focus on how to leverage Spark history server. All right, step one is we need the repository. So I'm going to copy this particular repository, come here, and then go to my IntelliJ IDE. And then hold on one sec. I'm just going to do cd dot dot. And then here, I'm just going to clone this repository, git clone, and you can see I am inside this particular repository. Now, once you have done that, again, this is very well documented in my opinion. So the next step is I think you need to install all the dependency. You can simply do the command brew install go task. This will again install all the dependencies for this, okay? Now, in order to interact with your Spark history server, either you're using AWS Glue, EMR on EC2 or whatever that is, they have made the whole process very easy. You can simply define a config file and then define the value inside the config file and then pass it. I'll show you how that works. So first, what I'll do is I'll start this particular command. This will start a sample Spark history server running on port 18080, just with some mock data for us to play with, right? So let me do that. Okay, so I'm gonna start the command. So I'll wait for the history server to start. This might take a couple of seconds here or there. Okay, so here you can see the Spark history server is started. Now if I go to my Chrome, right, and if I go to localhost 180.180, I can see some sample Spark application ID, and then now we're gonna learn how to use Amazon QCLI. Now, before we dive into the QCLI, we need to configure the config.yaml. The config.yaml is basically where it tells the MCP server where your history server is. For now, we're using locally, right? But if you are doing EMR on EC2 or Glue, there are examples given here. Again, please feel free to follow them. But I think if you just follow the local lab, get yourself acquainted with it, and then of course dive deeper into the other details, right? That's my advice. So now I already have QCLI. I can say Q ---- version. Again, I have my QCLI 1.19.3. Now it's very easy to add an MCP server. Q MCP add, I give it a name. I give the command. I'm gonna be using UVX, right? Hopefully you guys can see, right? Oh, yeah. And then here is my arguments, and here you can see the path that I have to my config file. So basically it knows where the config file is. And then I'm just gonna add the MCP server. I think I already have it, so maybe it's gonna throw an error or I don't know. Yeah. So again, it says already exists because I already have it, right? So now I can show you by going into this particular command. Usually your Q MCP server is in the .aws folder, and then the folder name is gonna be Amazon Q, and then look for mcp.json file. So cat. If I do a cat, here you can see all my MCP servers. Again, I use bunch of them. This is my AWS data processing MCP server. I have an S3 table MCP server, right, as you can see, and of course also for the Spark now. Okay, so that's that. Now what, right? Now just open up your queue. Just say Q. This will start your Amazon QCLI on your machine, as you can see. Let's wait for it to initialize, right? And then I can say MCP/. So this will list out all the MCP servers I have on my machine. Now I can give a test prompt like, hey, are you connected to the MCP server, Spark MCP server, and let's see if it's able to connect that. If you are seeing any error, it's most likely with the path or the config file that is something missing, right? So here you can see, I can see all the API commands that are available. So for example, list application, get application, again, all these details are there, right? Now here is again a sample prompt. Compare the performance between Spark, this one, and this one, right? Let's see what it does. So if I were to prompt this one in, right? Here you can see it wants to execute the command compare job performance. I'm gonna say Y. That means I'm giving QCLI permission to execute that command. And here you can see now it's evaluating. So right now it's saying, okay, data processing processing app 1 3.89 GB input versus app 2 was 1.98 GB. So again, I'm getting information about data processing, resource efficiency, summary, etc. Right? I can ask more question. What are the bottlenecks in this particular job? Right? I can do that, and again, then QCLI will basically tell me what all things I can improve upon in that particular Spark job. So hopefully, so you can see some major performance bottleneck here. You can see primary bottleneck with Parquet IO. Again, it's been outputted here, as you can see. So bunch of suggestions that I have got from QCLI. Well, that's basically what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how you can leverage Amazon QCLI and how you can add MCP server for Spark History Server. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're going to use that in your day-to-day work. With that being said, if you have any questions, let me know. Until then, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.